listening to the song and noticed that the countdown was not showing. So hello, I hope you guys waited. I hope everybody's doing good, and also hope that you can hear me and see me. As I played Go Live, I realized that I believe it's a 40 second delay. So I will wait until I can make sure that everybody can see me and hear me. I can see my face there. Okay. Hi Becky, hi Carrie, Shika. I can see Deb is there, Angela. Okay, more technical things I will take care of. Guys, also I am not sure why the camera is doing all of this automatic zoom in and zoom out and focusing. I really apologize for that. It's not my intention that you have my face right there. So thankfully most of it is gonna be just showing you. I'm gonna show you the collection and all of that. Oh yes, I love these earrings. Love. I'm glad that you can all see and hear. We had to change internet providers yesterday, so I could go live today because we were without internet, and we were told you'll have to wait 2 weeks for somebody to go and fix it. So we fixed it. So hopefully this works. Hi Janet. Okay everyone. I have a plan, but not really. For me, having a plan when I sit to create means that I know I'm 80% sure that I know how the layout is gonna look like. Right now I don't, except for I am going to be following a sketch. So I'm gonna go over that. I'm gonna go over the collection really quick, and yeah, let's just chat. Please let me know. Please tell me I'm not the only one creating tonight. Let me know what are you making, if you are making something, and if you're just watching, relaxing, well, that also. I really appreciate you being here. It's a Tuesday night. Yeah, let me make some space here and switch to here. All right, first of all, my goodness. I am not a Halloween person. Like, I've been struggling. I don't take photos during Halloween. Our kids are also, getting older. Let me turn this off here. And we don't take pictures, but I do have some photos that I have not documented. So that's what I'm going to be using here. I have this. I believe these are from 2018, 2019 maybe. So I think it's gonna end up being these two, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna set those aside, and let's just pretty quickly flip through the collection. Well, I have to say I did have a plan. The original plan was for me to sit right here and just make you watch me fussy cut, because when I started flipping through the collection and seeing all the papers and patterns, there are just so many that are calling to be fussy cut, like this one. And then I will also, this paper we need, I'm gonna use this one. So if you have the collection, if you want to create, if you want to work with me, you can set that one aside. Traveling for work, Deb, this one should also be fussy cut. This one, please, absolutely. This is a really beautiful pattern. But for the purposes of the layout that I'm going to be creating, this is the side that I'm going to use for my background, and I am going to need a couple pieces of this paper, which is sad, and I wish there was another kind of solid orange so I could use this one for an accordion mini album. I do have a second sheet of this paper, so I might do that with that one. This also, you have to fussy cut this one. Please. Then we have a problem. Which side should we fussy cut? And then this is absolutely beautiful. Now, I don't know about you, but every time there are Paige Evans florals, Andrea has to get at least 3 sets of those. So that's what Andrea did. There we go. So I have those. This 6x8 paper pad. So we will use it. I'll use it, and I'll show you where. And then I have the rest of the embellishments. I do need to get another set of ribbons because I really want this for my planner. So it's very pretty for layouts, but I also want it for my, let me move this here. I also want it for my planner. One thing that I am extremely excited, couple things that I'm extremely excited about. First of all, these are very pretty. I'm going to set these aside. Puffies, cardstock, stickers, titles. Titles. I gravitate towards using this type of product to create my titles. But I also love the fact that these alphas are wide enough that I can put foam adhesive behind them and pop them, because that's another thing. I like my titles, most of the time my titles need some foam adhesive, and if you give me super detailed, let's say, I will have a hard time using these ones except for maybe a mini album or a smaller project. But for a layout, I love having enough room to add adhesive, foam adhesive on the back. These are absolutely beautiful. I need to include this floral today. Okay, my 6x6 paper pad. I'm going to set the rest of this aside, and I'm going to bring this. This particular issue of the scrapbook and cards today is very dear to my heart. I loved it. My layout made it to the cover, so it is definitely one that I tend to grab and try to find inspiration. And when I was in doing so, I found, I think it's page, normally if I was really prepared, I would have marked where, okay, there's one there. Who made that layout? Our friend Becky. It's not here, I think it's back here then. Okay, yes. So, sketches. Allison Davis designs some of the most beautiful sketches that you can find out there. With the magazine, which if you don't have the physical issue, you can find online in the description below. I have the link that will take you to, there are 2 links. One will take you to the main page where you can see this issue. You can download it, but you can also see it, and you can flip through it and see all of the projects and everything. And then there is a second link that will take you to the resources, or one of the extra bonus resources from the magazine, which is this PDF from Allison Davis where you get not only the sketch, and these sketches you can find in the magazine, right? But also measurements, ideas, and a guide on how to use it, how to work with it. And then the first, so let me set this aside. Let me set this aside for a second. The first sketch that I wanted to use, which is actually, I believe, was it that the one that Becky I believe so. Yeah. So Becky, if you have it, or if you download the magazine, go to page 47 and you'll find inspiration for that one. And also, this is the one I wanted to use tonight, but I remembered that I used it. There is a layout here that I made following that particular sketch. All right. So again, sketches are perfect, super fun to work with. You can add your own spin to them. You can add so many things. You can just follow them exactly as they are. Going back to this, sorry, because there is something else I want to show you. Okay. But the one I'm going to use today is, or that I'm going to follow today, is this sketch. All right. And you have, once again, on the magazine, page 31, Megan Andrew worked with this sketch. It is originally designed to be an 8.5 by 11 layout. So if that is the size of layouts that you like to work with, you have a perfect starting point right here. Megan has a beautiful layout that she designed following the sketch, and there is also a process video. So if you want to go and check Megan's process video on how to put this 8.5 by 11 layout together, you can do so. So again, this is what we are using for inspiration today. This is just a live for fun. As I said, I do not know what's going to happen, how everything is going to end up looking like, but this is the sketch that we have, and this came in the Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine. This is the fall 2023 issue. All right, so let's get into this. So there is one thing that I added. If you see let's go back to the sketch for one moment. You see that there is nothing at the top. So this is one thing that's part of my preparation. So that orange paper that you saw me pull, this is what I'm going to use to add some scallop border at the top and probably the bottom. Okay. Let's go back, and I am going to use the 6 by 6 paper pad to create or to cut the papers, which I did that in advance. That was the only thing that I got to do last night. Okay. Let me see. The vertical strips on the original sketch are 1/2 inch by 6. Now, I don't want that many colors. Plus, remember, I'm working with a wider canvas. So I went ahead and cut some of the strips. They're still 6 inches tall, but I made them 3/4 of an inch wide. Okay, so I have some of those from the 6 by 6 paper pad. And I love the fact that the patterns on the 6 by 6 papers are smaller than the 12 by 12, so you can see more of the pattern there. You can appreciate those patterns better. Oh, the other thing I didn't show you is this is the pack of, it has some journaling cards and some just regular shaped die cuts. I already have them on the tray for when we are ready to start improvising with adding the embellishments. Okay, let me set that aside. I also took, let me get this off camera, I don't know what's there. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I took a picture of, I kind of started playing with the placement of those strips. So I think I am going to replicate when it's time for me to start adhering these pieces. I think I'm going to go with the same placement that I have here. Okay, so time to start working over here. I'm gonna get my paper trimmer. One thing that's gonna be hard for me is the fact that with this type of layout, one thing that I would have loved to do, and I will probably do off camera, depending on how the embellishments and everything goes. If I do not attach everything, I can add all of the machine stitching. Otherwise, I'm going to stay true to the sketch, and instead of adding machine stitching details around the vertical lines or edges of each piece, I am just going to go across the page at the top and bottom. What color? I only have white, but that's okay. So I might just stay true to the original design and do that. Okay. Let's go ahead and start. Okay, how many of you, I know Janet, I saw all your posts today, but how many of you got your pumpkin, your pumpkin spice, right? Latte from Starbucks today. I normally make my coffee at home, so if I want all of the flavors, I do get the Starbucks creamers, and they are the absolute best. I did have the pumpkin one like a week ago for a week, and then I'm back to the caramel macchiato. I do want to use this black paper for the actual background. If you want to save paper, you can go ahead and remove the center. Let's see, it's a pretty design. But I do have a second sheet of this, and I do like my layouts being sturdy. But, oh, I did it here, actually. If you want to save paper, what you do is you just remove the center of the square in the center of the paper. Okay? And then I do use washi tape to make sure everything stays in place. I'm going to go ahead, and this second piece I'm going to cut at 10.5. It was so good. I know you were so excited about that. I love that you had the chance to have it. I don't know if anyone else did. Oh, tomorrow. That is perfect. So one thing I'm going to go ahead and do, let me make sure that this baby turns on. I don't know if it's going to turn off on me. I am going to, before I start adding the pieces, I'm going to go ahead and add machine stitching around the edges of this. I'm going to probably, let's not mess with this because it's working. If there's going to be some noise, so make sure you mute me for a couple minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and get that. So I have the camera there. I don't know if you can hear me, but I just wanted to see one thing that I need to have always is my sewing machine is always ready for me to work. So all I do is I sit down and I make sure that I have it ready to go. Down here. Oh, and I had it on the wrong setting. Great. Okay. This, and then we are back. Set this aside for a moment. Yeah, I love, so I'm here right now with, the desk, and all I have to do is turn right, and then I am ready to stitch. That is one thing that everywhere. This is gonna be loud too, but oh no, why? Alright guys, sorry, I have one ready to go, another one ready to go. That is one thing that I know that works for me, and it is just making sure that my sewing machine is ready for me to use. It doesn't matter really if I have to turn, to the right or the left, but it needs to be ready for me to use, because otherwise I know that otherwise I know I'm not going to use it. So one thing, okay, keep in mind, normally I like to, when I am stitching, I try to avoid the layers, and I try to avoid layers where there is adhesive. Got distracted, got ready to go, I'm gonna add this, and when I'm ready to stitch across the page, I'm gonna have to go over this, 3 layers now, and a bunch of adhesive. So just keep that in mind. I would have normal Andrea, planner Andrea, would have started working on this layer at the stitching and then adhere it to the background. And right now I am going to eyeball it. You can measure this, but I'm going to eyeball it, and I say, and I think that right there is straight and centered. So this is my background. I at some point thought of doing just white, but then why white? Why white? There's no need for that. So let me find that photo. I know, the adhesive, and there is still, it's the cassette that it's not working, and there's still tape there. Alright, let me try to, once again, what I said I was going to do was to follow. I'm going to start with this, sorry, and this. Let's say, I'm going to set these pieces aside. And because I remember how I said that I want to use this paper to add a scallop border, so that means I'm going to need, and I want to do that after my pieces are all adhered to the background, mainly because I am still not sure if that is really something I want to add or if orange is the right color for me to do that. Maybe I want to do it in black and bring some of that background to this layer. I am not sure yet. So the idea is to add adhesive to leave at least half an inch, a quarter inch, half an inch on the top and the bottom, so then I can come with my piece of paper and just, you know, tuck it in under that. For this though, we kind of want to try to keep it straight. And this one is easy because it will just go right here, and I want to leave at least a little bit more, 1.5 inches from the top, 1.25 inches. I think it's good. Okay, something like that. And then from here, it is time to start. You know what? I'm gonna use the other. This one's louder, but okay. All right. The ruler is making it more difficult for me right now. So we're gonna pray that our pieces are all straight at the end. What do I have next? I have the black paper with the pumpkins and the florals. And then I have the gray paper from the village scene. That one comes on what paper? This one. So far I am trying to stay true to the sketch. The one thing I did is my border is kind of wider, so instead of maybe a quarter inch, it's more like almost a foot. It's 3/4 of an inch because I cut my paper at 10.5, so 3/4 of an inch on each side. Going back to boom, boom, boom. Okay. This one. Oh yes, I have, Carrie, I also have all of the magazines, and I keep some of them in the back right here within reach, like my favorite ones. And I always also like to flip through them online because it's easy to, it's a kind of like a, it has all the links there, so if I know that there's a process video or something, it's easy, makes it super easy to just click on it, go straight to YouTube and watch the process video. Okay, what comes next? Another purple. Oh, so this one is going to be hard. One moment. Really want to make sure that I make it easy to myself too. Okay, almost there. Went back with this. Should have another one of this. So there are some patterns that I'm repeating, some others I'm not, but I am repeating the color palette. For example, I am not repeating this paper, and I could have to balance it and make sure that you have 2 and 2 if you're gonna have 4 yellow papers, but I just like this pattern so much. I could even have, you know, replaced this one with another one of the oranges. Orange papers. Okay, and then this one right here. Okay, I had a few extras, so I'm going to set those aside. But I have now a super fun, colorful background that I am not sure yet how it's gonna look in the end. For this paper, I'm gonna get 2 3/4 of an inch by, well, 10.5 by 3/4 inch. Oh, my bad. Sorry, I need the 10.5 here. Yeah, this collection is very, very pretty. All of the patterns are super fun, and the color palette is beautiful. Hi, Lori. Then for this, I'm going to use, not this there, this one, my scallop scissors. There is one. Almost there. Okay. And it should be easy. Let's test it. Yes, I should have given myself enough room for, a couple pieces, maybe not. But technically, yes. So let me see it first. I think it works. I think the orange I think the orange does work for me. Plus, it will bring, it will pop with the two photos that I'm planning on using with all that orange. So I think it works. I think, woof, one thing will be done. Okay. Yes, I definitely like the scalloped border, and I like that is orange. One thing I'm going to do is I am going to play a little bit with the edges here. So there's one, and there is the second one, and I am going to use liquid glue to adhere this piece. Because I want to make sure that I can move my strips if needed before the glue sets and dries. Sorry. I think it was easier coming from this side. Maybe not. I have more control on my right hand, so it's easier. And it is straight, right? Right there. And then it's easier for me to adhere things coming this way rather than from here, so that is why I'm flipping. Okay, now I'm gonna do it like this again. Okay. Same thing. I'm gonna give it a couple seconds. To dry, and then I'm going to go one more time to the sewing station and be back. So I'm going to use, I could use black thread, but I don't want to change the thread right now. So white it is. We have white already on around the edges of the gray paper, so we're keeping it consistent. So let me go ahead and put there. Now, should I do, okay, should we do zigzag or regular stitch? The first 2-3 people that answer that are gonna get where you want. I am not sure. I think I like the idea of the zigzag, but I'm not sure. So I think I need some convincing. It's, I don't know. I need your opinion. Zigzag. Okay. All right. Zigzag it is. Perfect. Let's go back to the station. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you. That is what I wanted to do. Perfect. Whoopsie. Not really straight, but tonight is not the night. One more. Let's see if this one is better. Yeah, this one. This one. Oh, see, black. Yeah, black for next time. I have to plan it. So this one, the first one, not really straight. The bottom one does look really good. So, see, so this is one thing that you have to be very careful when you are sewing over too many pieces of paper at a time. So, well, up to this point I will call it a day. I'm fine with this. I don't want to mess it up now. Get some of the adhesive. Let's bring the photos and let's bring the sketch because that will make our lives easier. So photos. The original sketch works with 3 photos, and it has you adding your journaling here. For me, sorry, at least with the photos that I have, 3 are too many. So these 2 and these 2 are fine for me to overlap. We can overlap it like this, or we can overlap them like this. I think it's gonna be like this, so I don't mess with the pretty pumpkin here. Now, do I want because of the, let's bring all the pretty things to the table. I want to use this. From here, I think I want to use this to add this as my, hi Rosie! I think this is the one I want to use to add. Now, the thing is, I am adding a lot of color again. So if I try to place and it's not super big. So if I try to play the title here, I feel that it's going to get lost with all of the color that I have on the background. So I'm thinking that my title has to go somehow down here. And if I put it down here, I like the idea of having it kind of in the middle, and you can still see it's kind of not only in the middle left to right, but also in the middle of here of the orange scallop border. Maybe. I think that could be. Tonight is one of those nights where I will accept, take, and follow all of your suggestions. So if you feel that I need to move that, that's also an option. But what happens also if I play with this one? This one could go here, right? It's not bad. I'm looking at it on the screen. This one right here is not bad. So what do we like better? The thing is that I like that the title also brings, with all of those colors, it kind of matches the background we just created. So I am still thinking I want to do this, and I will probably, I'm going to try to find now the rest of the embellishments that I want to use in the journaling. For the journaling, there are a couple of options. So I could do, oh, by the way, we are using that big flower because it's calling my name. It's way too beautiful. So that, and I might use that. Okay. We don't know where this is going, but it is going to make it to the layout. Hello, hello. Oh my goodness. It's so nice to hang out with friends. This was one of those. This project is not design team. It's not for a class. It's just for fun. So I really feel like I am just crafting with friends. And I am doing the same thing. The same thing that I do when I'm home alone, which is talk to myself or talk out loud through the design process. So yeah, just doing a little bit of the same thing, but even better with friends. I'm thinking that maybe this could be a fun border for this photo. We're gonna leave it as is for now. And I would like to take the easy route of, oh, this is so pretty, but I have too many vertical lines. Oh, but I have the border. I might need, okay, we're gonna set this aside for now. Yeah, Jana, it's fun. This is another, this is all tentative, okay? I have not, this is as far as I got without adhering anything. This is as far as I got last night. Oh, this is gonna be probably for a mini album spread or my junk journal or the planner. Not sure. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Might need that. Love this. I might want to use this for my journaling. I could do the strips, but same as I tend to gravitate towards big pieces of big title pieces for my layout titles or projects in general. This is what I do like to use journal bits to add my journaling. I also have the option of just drawing the lines, black lines, and we can also use this. There was another piece that I saw that I liked. It was black. Maybe I was looking at something else because I saw a different piece. I think it was this one, the sticker. Or this one, but we're not really wearing costumes, so I don't want to use that. Ooh, we could use this. Let's see how that aligns with the colors in the background, because it is not big enough, and I could also use it just as background piece. Normally I don't cut through all of my stuff, but right now I feel like I need a real visual. No. I feel like this one is like this, so it's almost the exact same pattern here, so it could work. Could add it there. But then my flower, let's see where the... I have a big problem here, guys. Like not knowing really where I am going to adhere my stuff makes it a little complicated. Sorry, the dogs. It's all good, I think. Okay. I think I like this. And sorry, I'm just looking, I'm listening to the dogs bark. They normally don't unless there's somebody at the door, and it's weird because it's 8:20 and I'm alone here, so hopefully there's nobody out there. Okay, I'm looking at the screen. I like the title, I like this. I am struggling a little bit with the journaling because I will probably add at least a pumpkin either back here from the florals. Hello, hello! What time is it there? Okay, let me backtrack. I will probably add a pumpkin, and I will probably add a pumpkin here because I have all of these pumpkins. Then or maybe not here, but my floral cluster, something fun here. So I might add my journaling down here, guys. I'll make... I like the idea of adding this black sticker that says the kind of night to remember. This was definitely a super fun Halloween activity for us. So I like the idea of adding these right here, maybe towards one of the sides. We'll figure it out. And then I will probably add some strips. And I can go thin and long here. But I think that's going to be it. That's what's going to do it for me. So since I'm going to end up adding... I think this is what's going to do it. So the title here, I will be able to see my border. I love now that it comes, it's not, I like it like this, but I love it like this, and I need that border because I can tuck this black piece under that. I gain some room at the bottom because I am now adding a lot of weight at the bottom of my page, so I will need to figure out a way to add things a little bit at the top. Now, on the bright side, we do have all of the color happening here, right? And if you start looking at the little details, you also don't want to cover the entire background because it doesn't only add color, but there are pretty patterns that you don't necessarily want to fully cover, right? So I think I've made my mind with the placement of the photos. What's this here? And now this is not... Okay. The placement of the photos. My title. This floral goes right there. I don't care. I'm not going to mess with it because I really like it. So I will need some green on this side here. And I could do that. Francis, I could. The thing is, I am very particular when it comes to that. So I think the first thing I'm going to try is... Ooh. The first thing I'm going to try is this. Under this. That's the first thing. It's just too small. And then if not, I might just cut a few strips. But I feel that it's been an hour, some things need to happen, so I am going to start adhering my pieces. I do like this. I am not sure about the placement of this one just yet because it has to be determined by the photos. So I am going to get rid of the adhesive on the back. And I'm actually going to add a little bit of liquid glue. Okay. Great. Now that's there. I want to make sure that that's leveled. So I'm going to add some. Okay. Probably. So what I was going to say is I'm very particular with the cuts. Like if I'm going to cut a shape, it has to be perfectly cut. And if I cut it, let's say out of white cardstock or something, I will have to add details like machine stitching or something to make sure that that shape that I made or that piece that I created doesn't look like I just cut it and add it there. Okay, there's that. And then for this one, I think I'm going to go with thicker. Okay, and this is the one. This we wanted here. It's going to go on top of the photo. This one's going to overlap. I still want my photo kind of towards the right, so I'm going to add some adhesive. That means I can add probably a little bit more here. Okay. We are going to commit. We are going to commit. This is going to go here. So I want my photo. And this is another thing. I normally, 90% of the time, you'll see my photos straight. So one of the reasons why I am struggling so much with commitment right now is the fact that I'm angling the photos and I want to make sure that they make sense because I have all straight lines and all straight lines like this on the layout, and this is not driving me crazy. I like it because I don't want my photos to just be like this. I think it does add something by tilting them a little bit. Okay, it's gonna be like that, but that means this one will go first because it's okay. Okay. That one goes there. I have to say it is less stressful when I go live and have a real plan of how things are gonna turn out, but it's also kind of fun not knowing. Okay, I think this is it. That's it. Okay, and then this piece, I am gonna add a tiny, don't want to remove all of the adhesive on the back, but I also know that if I don't lift this, okay, it will just bend. Now these, I think we've decided already, but I still don't want it directly adhered to my page. So I am going to add some foam. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think this is, if I had time, I would love to do this more often. I also love the feedback, because well, 100% of the time it's me here creating or making those decisions, and it's like, yeah, well, it's harder for me to get out of my comfort zone, I guess, sometimes, just because I know what I like, I know myself, and yes, but I am glad that, you know, it's fun, something different, I guess. So same thing I said, it's easier for me to bring things in this way. So I know that I want it kind of in the middle. I'm gonna lift this, and then put it right there, and we're all going to, it's straight. We all agree, right? It is straight. And then the title, I'm going to remove the adhesive here. It's, yeah, that's the fun part. And you know, when you are alone and you have, let's say, enough time to make that decision, if I'm not sure about something, what I do is I would leave things the way, I will place things, embellishments, titles, things, the way I think it's gonna work. But if I'm not ready to commit, I will walk away and then come back either, well, normally I work at night, so I will go to bed, and after work the next day, the next night, I'll come in the craft room, and the first thing I do is I look at what I have, and if I like it the way it is, it stays like that. So that is all I need to make that final decision. Do I like the way it looks right now? Well, wait, you know what? I need more dimension here. So, one moment, guys. Because that is not going to do it. Anytime I have the opportunity or a chance to add foam adhesive, I will do it. And then here, I will double thickness on this. Yeah, so that is normally what I do. I just step away, and if I don't like it, I probably, before I went to bed that night, I probably had option B, option number 2. So I try that, and that second night I do try to make a decision. But not knowing, it's fun, but not always. It's not always fun. Okay, let me here. Oops. I think it has to go. All right. Okay, I want it right there, and then this piece I am also going to add some dimension. Once again, anytime I have an opportunity to add dimension, I will do it. Thin, so just gonna add. I have a hard time with photos on an angle, and also with overlapping. Yes, I get it. Yeah, you understand me, I understand you. Yes. Absolutely. Okay, how do I want this? I have to be careful not to cover this now. So I think right there is where I want it. So I may have to, I need to get rid of this. Or maybe do only one layer, one moment, instead of double. So let me add that. Okay. So I have, right now we are exactly at the point where we saw it, or I saw it, and I said, I like it, that's what I want to do, let's commit. We did, and now we're back to step number one. What next, right? You have all of these embellishments, and it's the what do we do now? So let me take a sip of water and try to make those decisions. This shouldn't take too long, so I don't want to keep you here for too long. But there are certain pieces. Let me see what is on. This is words. This is this. Okay. There are. This sticker right here is very, very pretty. What about... Oh, this is another thing I tend to have a hard time with, but I think I'm going to do it right now. I think I am going to use... I'm going to place these... Should I do the big one? No, I think the small one. I'm going to do a test. I don't always, and I think it's really because we don't get them with collections very often, these photo corners. I think I have 3 corners here. It has to be the small one though, I have a feeling. But I think I like this. Got one there, or... No, this one gets lost. This one I think is fun. Okay. I have 3 corners where I can add those. I'm going to use the ones with adhesive, and I am going to commit because there's no time for it. One. 2. It's hard. This committing thing. The other thing that I like about this is that with that I have my orange here, and here I have my orange here, and I have my orange flower. So if we are following that, you know, basics of designing that way, we are covered. Then, because we said, I'm going to put this here for now. I don't think I like it. I think that I need probably the same height, but I feel like I need longer. I need more space to write, and I think it needs to take more of the page. So that decision, I think, has been made too. Let me see what floral pieces and what pumpkins do I have. Okay, this one is going to be, I'm going to set that one aside for now. I like this one. I like this one. Ooh, okay. Love this piece. What I'm using to remove the glue, this is the Tailored Expressions powder. So, and the glue, but I think you were not here when I did that. And this is the other one, the rubber thing that I used to remove the tape or the tape from the back of the paper. Yeah, Tailored Expressions. And where was I? I think it was in Colorado, right? So I was thinking of, so it's the baby powder, like the We Are Makers and all of that. So what was I saying? I think I said embossing powder, right? Was that what I said, Becky? And I was like, no, it's baby powder or all of that. So this one is super cute, and I've been using it for a year now. Love it. Totally recommend it. And it looks cute on the shelf. What I was saying is that I found this. I love all of the pop of green that's going to bring, and I love the fact that this matches exactly the leaves on this flower. So this is definitely going here. What I don't know yet is what else is going to make it there. There are these darker ones too that we're going to set aside. And then so I might end up covering this piece though. Not sure if I am happy with that. Maybe this big floral piece, it's gonna make it here so I can see it come off the edge on this side. I can do a pink one right here, and then smaller. What other colors? So we know that this is going to be here. We're going to see more of the green, but yes, correct. But I think I said it like 3 times. Yeah, no, this is embossing powder. And I don't remember who was the one. I think somebody shouted from the back of the room like, it's baby powder. So, whoopsie. That happens. Okay. So this color, as much as I like it, and you know, the tea here has this color, I don't necessarily see this color anywhere else around on the layout, so I am going to skip it as much as I like the size of the flower. But this one could go here, and let me see what else. Oh yeah, I love this. Oh, I cannot go too busy on this side, but I'm not sure, but maybe, you know, and it's technically not floating because it has the orange Okay. I don't know yet. I'm not sure. Not sure. Maybe orange. I kind of want something else on this side, but I don't want it. I think this might do it. This might do it. Okay, and then this, we'll add the flowers here. We'll add this. I feel like I need a purple one. It kind of bothers me that the one purple flower I have right now, that it's not fussy cut. I know that I could definitely fussy cut find one that it's a lighter purple. Yeah, okay. I love the pink pumpkin too. So it's gonna go there. It's staying. It is staying. Well, but that's the one that goes there because this one we already have the pink here. Okay, I think this is what's going to be. See, so if I had added if I had time, or if I was doing this alone, I would have added the machine stitching around the edges of these papers. So for example, here, instead of just seeing the two patterns, I would be able to appreciate not only the paper, but all the dimension that I get and the texture that I get with the sewing. So definitely the sewing would have been something that I would have done differently. Okay, pumpkins. Pumpkins are staying. Let's secure the pumpkins. I agree. I like them. I like the way they look. I like this one's kind of floating, but it's not, because you know that scalloped border. Okay, we've got that. Okay, we lost it for a second. And I'm going to secure this florals here. I do want to add dimension to the actual leaves, and then I will add. We're almost done. We're almost done. Okay. Yeah, I love anything. I will stitch it. I will either fussy cut it or stitch it. There is, and see, it's so convenient. My sewing machine is right there, so stitch all the things. Okay, I'm gonna place this. I don't think I need to add liquid glue. I'm gonna be there. I am gonna add dimension to this. Yeah, I don't have the time to, I am going to add liquid glue. I don't have the time to do the beautiful hand stitching, so sewing all the things is my way to. Okay, I'm going to add this here, and also some dimension to these pieces. Let me see if, yes, I think I might go with this right here. And the last one, I don't want so much dimension. Yes, add it to the wish list. Especially once you start using it, it's one of those things that if you've never used it, you're not gonna miss it. It's not gonna be a big deal. But the moment you start using it and you love it and you lose it, ooh, yeah, it's a big, okay, let me see. I don't like now this, one moment, because now I just don't like the, okay, right there now. Placement was off for me. Okay, and I ended up covering. Now this makes no sense, guys. But I don't think I can remove it with that. I just did. Yes. So it would have been okay with 2 of the photo corners showing instead of the original 3 that I had in mind, but just 1 makes no sense. So removed. There's that. And let me cut those white pieces. And I think I'm gonna be super lazy though. Do we think? No. I have cards right here somewhere. Okay. If you prefer typing your journaling, then I would recommend type it, print it, and then cut the strips. I normally like to write my journaling down, and I think this is going to be enough. So okay, I'm going to do 1/4 inch strips. So I normally cut the paper first, adhere it to the background, and I have an idea of how long my journaling is going to be, so I know how many strips. I don't think it's going to be more than 4 though. Okay. No problem. See, so this one, I'll start here. So this one is going to be shorter. Let me see if this works, because I want to leave less than 1/4 inch between, or maybe 1/4 inch, around 1/4 inch from the bottom edge of this piece with my first, and then I think, then I will align everything. I think right there, maybe 3 are enough. Okay, I think that is exactly where my journaling is going to go. So I am, these are fine, going to add foam adhesive to the back. Becky, what are you stitching? Yeah, starting, so tomorrow I am staying home to help the family with a few things, helping and visiting my mother-in-law and all of that, and I also have to work on the final samples for projects for an event I have in Brazil in October, and those layouts, there is a lot of fussy cutting. So that is something that I will be working on this week, and I am very excited. Oops. Okay. one more and I am ready to adhere that, and then it's just a matter of adhering probably a few stars, a few enamel dots, but there was not with the backtrack here, with a background that is this busy and photos that are also busy, there's really not much room for a lot of embellishing, right? So those are things that you have to think about. There are, oh, speaking of embellishing, that's what I'm going to be talking about during my session of my lesson of the Wide Works class with scrapbook and cards today that starts next month. There are times where sometimes I start with the photo. I know what the memory that I want to document, but sometimes I know the pieces. I see a collection and I know I pull out pieces that I know I have to incorporate in the layout. So the design of my page comes based on that, or that is the starting point. In this case, it was the photo and I wanted to focus on using the pattern paper. So the embellishing part of it, or picking, choosing the embellishments, was not one of the first things that I did. I adjusted the decorations based on the photos the moment that I wanted to document, and basically the papers. Okay, I have this side here, which is the one that I have to align. You're more than welcome to use rulers when it comes to this. I eyeball all of the things. Okay. We're almost there. Okay. And then this has to go under this. Oh well. Hello. Okay. Right there. Trying to finish. Oh, the ugly sweater album. I have the album. There's no stitching. There are no photos in it. Need to work on that one. I'm now thinking that I may need to add another row for my journaling. Let me test it since I have that piece. Let me see. Okay. May or may not. I think I will. I will. And that is because here is where I don't know exactly the words that I'm going to use, right? But now I've decided that I do want to add that extra piece of journaling, or space for journaling, mainly because in terms of design it makes sense for me. The gap that I have here at the bottom with that fourth piece, it's pretty close to the gap that I have up here. So that is the one and only reason why I'm adding a fourth, and I will find additional information and additional details about the photos and the memory that I want to document to make sure that in terms of design the page makes sense. Okay. And then we're going to close with that. Yes, and I will have, I don't know if Becky has the link, but I will have a QR code in just a moment with the information for that class. I cannot wait for the Wide Works class. We're going to be touching on, I'm going to be talking about embellishments. Virginia is going to go over backgrounds. Becky, always the best at journaling, so all of the tips about photos and journaling will come from Becky. And Megan is going to talk about titles. So that Megan to me is the queen of titles. So you'll get that from her. All right. I am pretty much done. Now all I want is to find pieces that I can add to... Oh, woohoo! Natalie, yes! Oh, where's... Ooh. Guys, you see what I'm seeing? I got my cardstock stickers. This is one side. This is the other side. I got a bonus. It is a great night. It is a great night. I got a bonus. It did feel like thicker than normal. Oh, okay. Tabs. I am using this one. That way, I'm bringing some of the black right here. I have the black background, and I am about to add a pop of black behind the larger photo. I love it when it all starts making sense. And it's about to be already. Oh, yes. Okay, guys. So I have my October. I have my title, my subtitle here that it's black and black and black here. And my journaling with the space here and the space there. It's all working out. Perfect. Okay, I'm just going to add a few pieces here. Mainly, I think I'm gonna think about this ones. So off camera, I will think about the final touches. But I am pretty happy. I was very nervous. I was not sure how it was going to work out, if it was going to work out. The main goal was to just have a nice time with my friends, but I think I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And once again, let me bring... This is the layout. This was the inspiration. This was originally an 8.5 by 11 sketch that we adapted to a 12 by 12. So I'm very, very happy. So let me show you what we were talking about in terms of classes. So the Why It Works class is the one I was talking about with Virginia, Megan, Becky, and myself. We're going to go over what we just said, embellishments, titles, photos, and journaling, and backgrounds. So weekly, every week, every Wednesday, starting September 9th, you're going to have one new lesson, PDF, step-by-step instructions. We're going to be creating the same layout, so it's going to be a little bit more structured, a little bit more structured than what you had today or tonight, because you will have ahead of time the step-by-step instructions of the layout that we're going to be working with, and a supply list and everything. The supply list, I think it's available already, so just get on that. I am also teaching for my 3rd year in a row in Christmas a holiday album class with scrapbook and cards today. And then with Becky and Lindsay for the 3rd year in a row, we're going to be, well, for Becky is the 2nd, but with Lindsay, the 3rd year in a row, we're going to have our event in person in Omaha. This year it's going to be, next year it's going to be amazing. And then Scrap and Learn, we did 3 virtual events, and we are ready to bring it to life. We have, I think we are 2/3 of the way with the spots already, and then we are getting ready to start sharing some extra surprises. We're going to be sharing pretty soon the collections that we're going to be working on with. Projects are not ready, so that's not there yet. But we're going to be sharing the collections we're using. And the event does last 3 days. 2 of those days, the main teachers are going to be teaching, and there will be surprises coming your way pretty soon that you won't want to miss for Scrap and Learn. So, that is all I have for you today. An hour, almost an hour and 40 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me. I was very nervous today, even though it was just for fun, but not knowing what you're gonna do live, you don't want to mess it up. But it was so good creating this with you guys. Ooh, the one thing I'm noticing. Okay, nobody noticed. No one cares. The one thing that I would have changed is the direction of the black paper. I'm pretty sure that some of you did notice, so thank you for not saying anything. I would have preferred for my moons to go in this direction rather than this, but just don't pay attention to it. Nobody knows. Nobody will notice. Alright, I will finish adding my journaling, adding some probably enamel dots and things like that, and I will take photos of this tomorrow when there is light out. And for now, I'm gonna go back to my dogs. Thank you so much for joining me, and yeah, I will see you next time. I really need to do this more often because it's so much fun. Thank you so much.